So I got an email yesterday, or a message yesterday, from some guy on YouTube telling me that I should be ashamed of myself for being so proud and boastful about simply describing how I feel and what I think now that I'm not a Christian. Apparently, now that I'm not a Christian, I should be ashamed for what I think and how I see the world and what I believe. I should be ashamed. I guess, so I'm like, okay, who is this guy? So I click on his name, and the first thing I see is he's responded to some guy called Megasage007. And I'm like, okay, who's this guy? So I listened to one of this thing that he's made. It's called If There Was No God, No, if there never was a God. Okay. First of all, my thought on that is, if there never was a God, there'd be a lot less hate in the world. So many wars are caused by religious disagreement, Sexism would not exist. Sexism is purely a religious way of thinking. Intolerance would not exist. Look at how people are about gays, the intolerance, the hate. You don't even, people don't even know people, and they hate them because, religion. Anyway, I just wanted to play some of this guy's little thing. I'll just let him go. He's a total... I was watching this last night. I'm like, oh my God, this guy is a complete and utter nutcase. He's a fanatic. He seems to think that atheists are evil people just because we don't believe what he believes. We're evil people. And we're out to destroy everything. It's like... First of all, I was a Christian, and I'm an atheist now, and I'm no different. If anything, I'm a lot more confident than I was, and my self-esteem is quite a bit better than it used to be, But we're all people. We all choose whatever makes sense to us, and that's what we believe, I don't see atheists going door to door or yelling on street corners trying to shove their beliefs down other people's throats, or threaten other people and tell them, if you don't believe like I do, you're going to hell. I don't see atheists doing that. But I'll tell you what, I've not only done that as a Christian, but I've had that done to me a lot. And if anything, I think atheists are kind of tired of being treated and looked upon like the scourge of society, like we're the most hated group of people in society, just because we don't believe in a God who, I'm sorry, if you read the Bible and you read it through just with objective eyes and not through your stained glass window lenses, and really see what this God does in the Bible, it's like, oh my gosh, Anyway, so here's this guy. I want to just play a little bit of his what he has to say, okay? Somehow this got changed. Okay, here we go. Down to here.
Welcome to my video forums to atheists worldwide. If there never was a God, mankind has no soul or spirit and is only made of atoms. If there never was a God, humanity is no more valuable than other life forms. If there never was a God, there is no purpose to the universe. If there never was a God, mankind is just like any other troublesome species to the ecology when there are too many of a kind. Ethnic cleansing could become legal. The United Nations could pass genocide acts. If there never was a God, wars could become desirable to slow population explosions and separate the weak from the strong by natural selection. If there never was a God, humanity has no more responsibility for the planet than the elephant or the lion, who leave their dung on the face of it. If there never was a God, there will be no need for a moral code, since there will be no universal omnipotent authority to to enforce it justly.
That's about as much of that as I can stomach. If there never was a God. Oh. You don't want close-ups. Okay. Okay. We would just be the same value as animals. Well, hey, newsflash. We are animals. You know? You might not like that fact, but it's true. And I personally think it's really awesome that we're a part of this huge, amazing thing called the universe. You know, and I love what he says about how the universe would have no meaning if there was no God. What's up with that? Why does there have to be? First of all, why does there have to be a meaning? The universe exists. We're lucky enough to be one of the things that came to life because of certain conditions were just right for us to be. You know, and when you think of all the possible humans that there could be, when all those little sperm are swimming to the egg, the one sperm that fertilizes the egg makes you. It could have been a different sperm, and the result would have been a different person. All these possible people that could have existed, you know, when your mom and dad had sex, but you got to exist. I mean, of all the possible people that never exist, never get to exist, and we do. I think that's pretty amazing. But the fact that we're this tiny little planet, you know, in this tiny little solar system that's just one of billions of planets in the Milky Way, you know, orbiting stars. And the Milky Way is just one of billions of galaxies in the universe. You know, we are puny. We're not the reason everything was made. We're just along for the ride. We're getting to enjoy the ride. And I think it's pretty amazing. And I think we're pretty darn lucky that we get to experience life and get to, you know, reach beyond ourselves and try to understand. And, you know, this guy acts like we'd all be running around, you know, godless destroyers of, well, we'd be running naked in the streets, streaked with war paint, killing and murdering and raping. Well, killing and murdering, same thing. Raping and pillaging and destroying and all these things, you know, if we didn't have God, you know, the fair and just God. Yeah, he's real fair. How is this God fair? How is he just? Let's see. Because of religion, we had 2 airplanes hit the World Trade Center, and we had several thousand people die who were just innocent people going about their day. They didn't do anything wrong to anybody, and they just died. How is that just? How is the tsunami in 2004 that wiped out, I don't know, a couple million people? You know, I remember that footage of just piles of bodies along the shore. How is that just? How is it just that these killer tornadoes are coming along now and destroying entire towns, just destroying everything in their path? You know, how is that just? You know, he's acting like God is just. Is it just that God created humans imperfect, corrupted? He made us imperfect so that we would sin, and then he punished us for sinning. And he sent a flood and drowned everybody on the planet except for one family. How is that just? All the little babies, all the pregnant women with fetuses inside, all the animals. Were the animals also corrupt? Did they deserve to die? You know, when God sent the flood, he didn't just kill all the people, he killed everything. Did those animals deserve to die? Did all those unborn babies deserve to die? Were all the people that horrible? You know, Why did he make them corrupt in the first place? Why didn't he make them intelligent? Why didn't he make them so they were aware, so they didn't have to have a tree of knowledge, And then, I mean, he knew that when he put the tree there. He knew when he made Adam and Eve that they were going to do what they did. It was all part of his plan. And then he punishes us for doing what his plan is. How is that just? I don't particularly see this God as just. And I see a lot of harm coming from religion. He talks about, there would be all these wars and stuff. Well, war is one of the biggest instigators of, or I should say religion is one of the biggest instigators of war. You've got all the holy wars. You've got the troubles in Ireland, or the former troubles in Ireland. The Crusades were horrible, and it seems to me that religion is behind a lot of the major conflicts. The Nazi movement, Hitler, those guys wore things on their belts that said God is with us. They really believed that they were doing God's work. Hitler did. He was a Catholic, and whether or not he really saw himself that way, that's how he declared himself. He declared himself as doing God's work, continuing God's work on the earth. So, and as far as being just the same as animals, I personally find that a compliment. I think elephants and lions are really cool, and I think they show a hell of a lot more. They leave their dung on the earth. That's natural. Dung actually is a good thing for the earth. Dung fertilizes the earth. What do humans do to the earth? Do we show concern for the earth? We have this attitude because of religion that the earth is just here temporarily, and that one day God's going to come along and there's going to be Armageddon and he's going to destroy the earth and we're going to get a new earth, a new Jerusalem. So, it doesn't really matter what we do to this earth because this is just temporary until we get another earth. God's just going to crumple it up and throw it away and we're going to get another earth. So the earth is here just for us to use up. That's kind of the attitude that I see around me because of religion and the attitude that we're all going to get to start again on a whole new earth. Humans are the ones that leave garbage everywhere. Humans are the ones that knock down rainforests and entire habitats, not caring what species we're wiping out or making impossible for them to continue to survive. Our species is all that matters. And if we have to make room for more of us and cause other species to completely disappear off the face of the planet, we're all that counts. I mean, that whole attitude, we're the ones that are hard on the earth, that are a problem on the earth, not the elephants or the lions. And it's like, how dare this guy compare us to animals that have never done anything except be what they were meant to be, which is just what humans should be. And, I hope one day we are, but it's because of religion that so much damage, the way we think about our world, the way we think about each other, the hatred and intolerance to people who are different. This is all because of religion. In my opinion, if there was no God, the world would be a much, much better place.